Hello, it is I, Whimsy. Is that good just to have it be called Whimsy? Should I be the Oracle of Whimsy? I don't know. Good to see everybody here. Good to see everybody here. Oh, clear my throat. I haven't started speaking yet. All right. Let us see what we're doing here. Okay, so Asher's House, a great organization if you'd like to donate to Asher's House. We also want to give a mazel tov to Asher, a congratulations to Asher, who is recently married. He got married, I believe, this weekend. Did everybody get a chance to see Asher's wedding? Asher's House is one of the organizations we donate charity to. Yeah. Well, I think he had something like several hundred dogs in attendance. I guess that's a large wedding, right? Yeah.
The people, they want to come down. Seeing all these people. Hold my hand. Here comes the first one. Here comes the first one. Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy. Here they come. They're coming down the hill. Look at this white one. I love it. Man of the hour. Hallie. I know. Attaboy. Here comes the wedding couple. Oh, look at his outfit. He's wearing a tuxedo t-shirt. Yes. Athena. Oh my. What's going on? Start now. Very good.
All right, so we want to share a congratulations to Asher's House. Asher, Sarah, congratulations on your wedding. You're a beautiful couple. If you decide you'd like to donate to Asher's House, check out Asher's House. We don't have a link to Asher's House, unfortunately, where you can donate directly. But what we will be doing today is we will show you a link. And so if you would like to send a wedding gift to Asher and Sarah, I believe his wife's name is Sarah, please think of donating to the Asher House. And again, for all of us who love your work, congratulations. And may you and your beautiful bride enjoy many happy years to come. Yeah. Wow. Good to see everybody here. That's a beautiful way to start the day with our charity for those of you who are just deciding to join us. Our charity this week is the Asher House, to ensure that the money goes directly to the Asher House and not to some fake whatever, go directly to their website, the Asher House. And if you find anything today entertaining, think about donating to them. I'm going to grab the book of the month. Excuse me, I haven't cleared my throat yet. Okay, the book of the month. For those of you who would like to join our book of the month club, we do have a monthly book of the month. Excuse me. This one was written by Kirsten Bach. Christina Bach. Excuse me. Congratulations to Christina Bach. Great book about a kind of alternate world. It's just very, very good. And hopefully we can connect with Christina Bach. She reminds me a lot of Margaret Atwood. Check out her work. That is our book of the month for the book of month of June. And of course, if you've written a book and you would like us to consider you for our book of the month club, please think about contacting us. Excuse me, care of Whimsy Anderson, 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Suite 116, 97201. And who knows, maybe your book will be selected as our book of the month. Okay, give a little blur there. I'll give a little bit of a blur to the back. I'm trying to make it look nice today. I gave it a little bit of side effects there. Special effects, side effects. Well, happy brunch, everybody. Happy brunch and a blessed Sunday, June 28th to you. It is I, your favorite Whimsy, and we're broadcasting live right now at YouTube, Facebook, but also X. So regardless of where you're coming from, a couple quick announcements. Like we said, we just announced that our book of the month is Now Ever, Christina Bach, an alternate world similar to this one where things are freaky. I think you're going to love that. Also, we wanted to announce that our donations are being directed. If you decide that you wanted to donate something in honor of our weekly get-together, our charity this week is the Asher House in honor of Asher and Sarah's wedding. If you'd like to donate to the Asher House, you can donate theasherhouse.com. And so we are raising funds for them. All right. So be sure and tell us what you're eating and what you're drinking for your beautiful brunch. It is June, and June is busting out all over. What state you in? Let me get my cross legs. I get comfortable when I'm cross-legged. Okay. Tell us what you're eating. Tell us what you're drinking. Tell us what the weather's like in your beautiful part of the world. June is busting out all over. You can see the promenade in the background. Somebody had said, you're out there next to the public. You're out there on the street. No, this is our veranda. Is that what they call it? Veranda. This is the second floor of my building. The second floor of the building has the garden. You have to actually go up to an elevator, and it's a secure private gardens. But sometimes people will be out on the gardens doing their thing, barbecuing. And, in the month of June, we have, excuse me, a lot of, barbecues, things like that. right? We have a lot of stuff that's coming out. There's Father's Day. And then after Father's Day, we go right into a couple of other things as well. July 4th. Of course, we also have the World Cup happening. When does the World Cup end? Who's winning? Evidently, there is a call out from TSA warning people that you cannot get on the plane with the ranch dressing. They've had to stop multiple people going back to whatever country they come from with tons of bottles of ranch dressing. I don't know why don't you guys just make your own ranch dressing? It's not a tough recipe. Is it tough? Don't have to be trying to sneak ranch dressing onto the plane. So, have you folks seen this? So, we're going to get into a couple of interesting conversations today that I think you guys are going to find rather interesting. But that was the first conversation I thought you guys would appreciate. And that has to do with just the absolute insane way in which people are responding to America. Have you seen this film footage? Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's basically it's pretty funny. I think it's pretty funny, and we'll go ahead and take a look at this. I want to give a shout out to the channel whose video we're showing. This is Europeans React to World Cup Fans, and this European Reacts. And I found many parts of this really, really funny. Let me see if I can find. There were some parts that were just killing me. Oh my God. I don't know, but let's just see. Let's watch some of this.
Oh, now you've calmed down.
Oh, calm down?
Yeah. What have you enjoyed most about Texas?
I'm gonna guess here. Barbecue. For sure, barbecue.
Oh, BBQ. Oh, yeah, BBQ.
BBQ. Wait.
This is BBQ.
What did you have? Brisket or ribs?
わからないけど、美味しいです!
Very best.
Wait, what happened there? He said, why can I add
I'm not a soccer person. Barely
Okay.
knew we had a soccer team. As sure as
Again, you guys can find my vlogs with Sarah in Texas.
Basically, people just start to go absolutely crazy for America.
Okay, I need subtitles here. My friends, sorry, Andre, you have a Russian English. Don't make fun of any one accent. I'm not making fun. I just didn't understand.
So some Americans invited us to the water slide party.
Water slide party? Okay. What?
So I'm very excited for that.
I'm most excited about going to a baseball game. Never been before. As well as Costco. I've heard wonderful things about Costco.
Costco.
And I cannot wait.
I need to be.
is and how safe our country is. And
Do you have any problem about that, my friend?
You know, it's interesting how many Americans want to leave the United States and move to Europe. And this is their first time coming to America, and they just want to live in America so bad. They're like, endless Coca-Cola, endless Coca-Cola.
Jesus. Okay.
Everything at the World Cup, SoFi edition. A burger, $10. Not bad.
How good it is.
It's actually a great burger. 8 out of 10. Spicy chicken wrap.
I mean, Americans end up inventing the burger. Oh, it was Germany. Shut up.
Not bad.
There's one guy, he was on here. It was really pretty funny. He's like, Queen Lizzie, I'm sorry, Queen Lizzie, but this is the most delicious thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. I'm sorry, Queen Lizzie. It was just very, very funny. Anyway, yeah. So there were a few of those that were put out, and I just thought it was kind of interesting, and it harkens back to this idea of, you know, maybe the grass is, you know, always greener on the other side, because we don't think about the United States as we want to go be civilized. We want to go be with the Europeans, and then you see the European response, and it's just pure insanity, right? So it just leaves you wondering, what is it about human beings? We always think things are better somewhere else.
Europeans are officially obsessed with America, completely taking over the World Cup with the ultimate cross-cultural crossover. If you love seeing the world unite over crazy vibes, hit that subscribe button right now. From British fans creating entirely new vibes.
Yeah, so I wish I could find this one video. Oh, here it is. You guys got to take a look at this. This cracked me up. I died watching this. Okay, you guys, this is totally worth it. Take a look at this British guy's response to barbecue.
So, being European in the United States is just, it hits different. So, this is the average monster we got in Europe, Switzerland. But what is this? What is this? 24.
Oh, this isn't it. All right, I'm gonna have to let it go. But it was just very, very funny. One of these, I'll show you the clip when I find it. But it was just, he was like, oh, it was just very funny. I don't know. This is not stuff that you and I eat on a daily basis. I mean, when was the last time any of us had barbecue? Right? So it's not like, it's not something that, the things that they're going crazy over are things that you and I wouldn't eat, except under, you know, it would have to be a special occasion, or like when I am between planes and I'm in Texas and I'm between planes. That often happens. Like if I'm flying to parts of Mexico or Central South America, I'm often in Dallas or someplace like that. Then in a situation like that, I might go ahead and treat myself to barbecue. But it's certainly not something that you're going to be having every single day. You know what I mean? So the grass is always greener. So then you have to, what else would I say about that? Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to be eating that way every day. The rest of the time, I think we're just eating regular food. I don't know. Well, I'm kind of a health food freak myself, but yeah, I wish I could find that video. It was just hysterically funny. Oh, I think I did. I mailed a copy to Joel because I just laughed my head off so much, and I sent it to Joel. Yeah, I just thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. Oops. Okay. Just going to try and find this. Oh, here it is. Thank God I finally found it. Okay. Let me see if I can find this for you guys. Hold on. I really want to show this to you guys. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now I have found what I wanted to show you guys. It was Kang Mean TV actually that put this out. So let's just take a minute to take a look at Kang Mean coverage of the response to American food.
Like this. Oh my god. And then grab. How big is that?
Bite. First bite, man. That's your first ever bite of Texas barbecue. What do you think?
Amazing!
Hey, that's a shark
I
bite.
love
That's
it.
the definition of a shark bite.
Like not hard.
Tender.
Tender.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tender.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah. Umami is delicious. Right, so we've just landed in Dallas Fort Worth. We're in Brisky's barbecue, getting a platter here. I've gone for the brisket and the ribs. We've got mac and cheese, fries, coleslaw, and Texas toast. Comes with grand total of $25. Frank, what you got from there?
I've gone for the three. I've been a bit more fat, so I've gone for the ribs, I've gone for the brisket, and I've gone for the barbecue shrimp. Same sides.
Oh my day. Oh my days, Queen Lizzie, I'm sorry. Hello, gents. Today we're trying American barbecue for the very first time. We got a brisket here, nice cornbread, and then some mac and cheese as well with some sauces. It's about noontime where I am, so I'm properly famished. Let's get into it. First, let's try the brisket. Get a good chunk out of there. Good little piece. Oh, look at that. I got the moist cut, whatever that means. He said it was a little more fatty, so let's see. Oh my days. Oh my days. That is properly scrumptious. Oh my days. No wonder your blokes are fat. I'd be a fat gizzard too if I was eating this all the time. That is scrummy. That is scrummy, mate. All right, we got the mac and cheese as well for the side. Let's give that one a try. Looks like they put a little brisket in there. I'm not sure what that part is. Oh. This is some good cheese, mate. Oh my days. That is scrummy. That is scrummy. Oh, I'm properly chuffed. All right, now let's try it with the sauce. You guys were getting on me for not trying the sauce last time. This is called Texas twang. I don't know what twang means, but it sounds good at least. Get a fair bit on there. Oh my days, that is elevating. Oh my days. That is elevating. Oh my days, I'm properly chuffed right now. Get a little more of that sauce in there. Oh my days. That is scrummy. I am properly chuffed. They recommended me a second sauce called Smoky Mountains. So let's try that one as well. Oh my days. Oh my days. Oh, I'm chuffed. Oh, Queen Lizzie. That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. Let's mix them both together. Oh my days. Oh my days, Queen Lizzie, I'm sorry. I am sorry, Queen Lizzie. That is smacking.
Europeans in America for the world.
Queen Lizzie. I just had to. I just had to. Oh my God. That that cracked me up. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do the empath prayer. If you would like to receive a healing at this time, you can go ahead and give us your name or the person that you would like us to pray for, and then we can include them in our prayers as we bring in the empath prayer today. Again, announcement, our book of the month is Now Ever by Christina Bach, about an alternate world, highly funny and entertaining. Couldn't put it down. Great read. Check it out. If you, of course, have a book you've written and you'd like to send it to us, think about sending it to Whimsy, care of Dr. Whimsy, Whimsy Anderson, 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Suite 116, Portland, Oregon, 97201. And who knows, maybe your book will be selected for our Book of the Month Club. All right, I'm going to go grab my gong, and then we can go ahead and do the impasse prayer. And we'll be including prayers for everyone who needs to receive a healing at this time. Also, we will be giving a collective reading after that. If you could like, share, and subscribe, that would be awesome. After the collective reading, we will blitz away and do remote viewing to answer questions you may have about what's going on in the world or future predictions. All right. Sounds like a fun afternoon, if I must say so. Oops. I'm being attached to things. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I just saw that. Oh, my days. I just laughed. I'm like, I got to show that to the audience. I got to show that to my audience. I thought that was hysterically funny. Oh, my days. Chuffed. I've never heard what the term chuffed. Overwhelmed. I think it must mean overwhelmed. Chuffed. I'm chuffed. Stopped at the airport with your ranch dressing. That's right. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, as a community, we say amen. For those people requesting healings today, we come together at this time and we pray. We pray that you and those you love receive a perfect healing in mind, body, and in spirit. And together again, collectively, as a community, we say amen, amen, amen. May all souls be healed. May all souls be healed. All right, when we get the order, actually, I think we're going to start with a collective reading. So let's go ahead and we're going to give you all a collective reading. All right, this reading applies at the time you see the reading. This is a collective reading. It's based on the whole Jungian philosophy that we live in a collective. We are all part of the collective conscious. We are a hive mind. So how goes one member of the hive affects everybody else in the hive. If something in this reading doesn't apply to you, you can go ahead and pass it down to the next person. Maybe it applies to them. It's just a smorgasbord of ideas. Let's take a look. Great to see you all here. I feel your good vibes. Feels like it's dark because I didn't light my candles. All right, where we are at right now as a community. Business wants business to go well, right? Business wants the market to go up, unless playing the market is how you're making your money. And most people are not making their money that way. Most people are making their money long term. So this is the first thing the universe wants us to talk about. The base of the matter is the Ace of Pentacles, which is wealth coming in and scholarship. So think about that. Magic. Just made the light go on. All right, that'll be for the cut later, just for fun. Okay, listen, you guys. I think that the financial, I know there's been a lot of talk about how things are bleak right now financially, and everybody is really concerned about the financial situation right now. But it doesn't look like that when you marinate or go into the energy. There's a lot of doom and gloom about AI, but that is not what happens when science changes things or technology changes things. People don't stop working. People thought that farmers would end with the John Deere tractor. People are still farming. They're just farming with the John Deere tractor instead of with the mule, right? So work changes, the nature of work changes, but people don't, it simply will not happen. There will always be work. The other thing I want people to understand is that the base of the matter is the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ace of Pentacles is about wealth, money, and economic prosperity. The takeaway here is that the universe is saying there is a ton of wealth to be made on planet Earth if wealth is what you want to manifest. If you're worried about your financial situation or you're coming at this from a place of scarcity, it's not something that you have to worry about because you can manufacture wealth. Well, there's plenty of wealth here. So it's important to understand that we're actually probably going to be coming into a better time economically. I see improvements economically. New trade routes that will open up more affordable trade, more opportunities for cultural exchange, food products, different things that we'll be able to purchase at more affordable prices, because the final battle for these trade routes is happening now, whether it's happening in Iran or whether Iran, which is blocking a trade route, which is an ally of Russia and trade routes. So, but what I see is that we're headed in a really positive direction because Ace of Pentacles moves in as the base of the matter. So I think economically we're going to be coming out of whatever difficulties we're dealing with right now. The Karma card is interesting also. The Karma card is the Hermit, and the Hermit has to do with scholarship and studying. Now is the time up for all of us to begin to focus on study mastery. Remember, there are many things we are called to do in this incarnation here on Earth. To be good people, to treat others the way we would wish to be treated, to do impeccable work, to be good at our jobs, etc., to have loving relationships. But of all those things, one of those things that we're called to do is mastery. The Hermit is coming in as academia, scholarship, and knowledge. And it just feels to me like the intellectuals, the academics, the scholars are the ones that are leading the show going forward. And that there are people in positions of power that are working very hard to improve the financial situation for everybody. That billionaires don't stay rich if they don't have any customers, if the market is unstable. They want a robust economy. Most business people want a robust economy. They don't want this kind of challenge. So it just feels to me like we're entering into a time when academics are coming in and the economy will benefit because of it. Also, our first house is the Ace of Cups, which is new love or loving energy coming into our lives as well. So it's an opportunity for many of us who are looking for love or new relationships to be coming in at this time. And also many blessings, a good star over the Ace of Cups. So we have good stars and good karma coming over the issue of love at this time. And an Ace of Pentacles, money also, money woes. If you're concerned about your financial situation, your own intellectual abilities, your own research is going to pull you out of that and potentially put you in a positive situation. It's like the guy who made 30 million by working with ChatGPT to develop his business, right? So we can marry our ideas with AI in order to produce things that are going to be very profitable to us in the future. So use your research and use your studies to go forward financially. Also, know that your relationships are going to be benefiting in the coming years with a star over the Ace of Cups, first and second house. What is above you at this time? You're headed towards a time of great transformation, huge changes happening for many of you that are watching this video at this time. This stands in the fourth house, which is the house of the heavens. It's heaven's energy coming in. So the energy of the heavens moving in at this time is to receive blessings and transition. And the energy of the heavens is that which we are creating at this moment for the future. So where you are at right now, headed towards the future with heaven's force, is that you are headed towards a time of tremendous transformation and a new attitude regarding love and relationships. That's quite auspicious. What you're sitting in has to do with Earth's force. Earth's force are the things that ground you to the earth, and that stands in the third house. Third house is the devil. So things that attach you to this world. Sometimes people become hungry ghosts, right? They die and they stay attached to the things of this world. And because they are hedonist, and because they love the things of this world and didn't develop their spiritual aspects, when they pass, they become hungry ghosts. It's this idea of the hungry ghost. And the hungry ghost is someone that dies, but they don't go on to the next incarnation or into a beautiful world. Instead, they wind up trapped in this realm, and they are trapped in this realm by the desires of the things of this world. And because they desire the things of this world, they cannot let this world go. In plainer words, their sense of being alive is their addiction, and their addiction is their sense of being alive. Think about that. The only thing attaching me to this world is my addictions, my cocaine addiction. I use the cocaine to keep me grounded in this world, to feel good and to keep me in this world. If I gave up my addictions, I would no longer be a part of this world. I would be a part of something else. And so I remain a hungry ghost so that I can remain tethered to this world, because this is the world of addiction. I can become addicted to things. This is where a hungry ghost covets a house. It's my house. It's my house. It's my house. You can't have my house, right? Or it covets a food, right? Where it's constantly obsessing about ranch flavored Ruffles potato chips, right? Those are supposed to be the best flavored, right? Or no, what is that? Sour cream and onion, right? That's right. So I was just reading about a guy that did astral projection and got to experience life as a hungry ghost, and all he did was eat, but he was never satisfied. And that was what he would eat mounds of, was onion, sour cream, Ruffles, but they never got into his stomach. It would always evaporate in his throat. He would just eat mounds of them as an astral, in the astral form, right? So that is the idea of the hungry ghost. And what you sit or marinate in is the devil, the addiction of the hungry ghost. So here is a spiritual challenge for you to marinate in. Here is a spiritual challenge for you to think about. How much of your attachment to this world is based on hedonism? I like this world because I love ranch dressing, right? You know, World Cup, right? Go and watch football, soccer, and enjoy some ranch dressing. I am attached to this world because of the physical pleasures of this world. I'm addicted to a relationship. I'm addicted to a drug, codependency and addiction. So it sits in the third house. So what grounds us to this world could be the pleasures or the addictions of this world. So be aware of that and think about how these addictions or attachments prevent you from evolving towards becoming something new and something different. Old ideas can trap us, old relationships, right? I get the impression going into this, reading for the group of people that are watching this video, that many of you did school, like you attended a lot of college courses or classes online, or were very much into or self-directed education. But the people watching this video right now present as a highly educated group that has done the school thing, right? So your past placement is the 5 of Wands. So this is somebody who presents as highly educated, still attached possibly to the things of the past, relationships, foods, substances that don't serve them, attachments that may make it difficult to go forward into the future. I would say also that the big spiritual transition for you is to let the habits and ideas of the past go so that you can reimagine yourself. Because we talked about the fact that the 5th house or past placement was 5 of Wands, exchange of ideas and education, indicating that people here are probably pretty educated. And the 3rd house, which you sit in and marinate, is the devil, inability to let relationships or things of the past go. But you're headed 4th house, which you're manifesting in the heavens, is a transition, and you're headed to the Hanged Man, letting things go or hanging up the things of the past that didn't serve us. What is the difference between closed-minded and being single-minded? That is also something that requires discernment. I'm not going to listen to my critics. I'm just going to keep plowing forward. Well, what if your critics are giving you really good idea, and it's important for you to listen to your critics so that you can move forward in your goals faster? So knowing the difference between signal and noise, we've talked about that. Noise is just random attacks. You're screwed up. You're crazy, right? That's not going to help you, right? We've all been either given or received noise, criticism that doesn't really help the other person. And then we have signal. You know, a faster way for you to do that would be to maybe try ABC. So be aware the 7th house is the 2 of Swords, the immediate environment. You could be shutting everything out, including the good parts. So be able to open the door a little bit in your life and start receiving criticism from people you respect or from sources you respect, so that you can allow real change to happen, this process to happen. Just because somebody else is doing well in their life doesn't mean that you are doing badly in your life. This is the other message for Spirit right now, from Spirit right now, is others around you seem to be doing better. She has a house. She has a mortgage. She has a health crisis. She doesn't know if she's got, you have no idea what's going on in another person's life. The truth of the matter is nobody's probably doing better than you. But your house of opposition is the Ace of Swords. The other appears to be doing better than I'm doing or seems to be winning. If it's a court case, then obviously that's a problem. You know, you don't want a person you're in court with to be winning. However, be aware also that just because somebody's doing well, it doesn't in any way diminish from your own path. Hopes and fears, compromise. How did I compromise too much in my previous relationships? And is that how I wound up in my current situation? The difference between being open-minded and being so open-minded I get screwed over and the other person wins one over on me. The lovers. The lovers is the hope and the fear. So the ability to open up and exchange ideas with others is what one desires, but also a fear, Two of Swords, of potentially getting taken advantage of. Final outcome for you is be willing at a heartbeat to let everything go. Eight of Cups. Could you right now dismantle your whole life? Could you right now dismantle your whole life? That is the conversation. Could you drop everything, get on a plane, and move to Albania tomorrow? How much have you simplified your life? This is a real calling that all of us keep our lives as simple as possible because things change. And also you want to be pliable, or what they call allostasis, the ability to always return to center, no matter what the trauma or difficulty is. If someone attacks you, if somebody beats you down, if somebody hurts your feelings, or if you undergo a more serious emotional trauma, how long does it take you to go back to center? That's allostasis. The ability to emotionally recompensate, to go back to center. So Eight of Cups comes as your final outcome, and that indicates that letting a lot of things go, preconceived ideas about yourself, but also letting go of physical things, things of sentimental value that you are ready now to sell and get rid of. One man's trash is another person's treasure. And Eight of Cups and Hangman in your sixth position. Remember, sixth is the near future, indicates that this is a time of you just clearing out stuff. That which does not serve you must be let go of. And then your final outcome here again, Eight of Cups, that which leave everything and come and follow me. It's calling for a more spiritual future for yourself, one that is less attached to the things of this world. Remember the imagery that was described for the things of this world. Someone so attached to the physical world and the pleasures of the world that they are not able to move on to the next incarnation. So they're talking here about simplifying your life. Recognize that whatever economic challenges are happening right now in the country, this too shall pass. We've gone through depressions, we've gone through recessions, we always bounce back. And to understand that there are intellectuals and academics that are working on the side of the good to improve the current situation financially. Until then, your focus should be more on things that are going to spiritually enhance your life, simplify your life, and try to avoid conflict with others. Flee from conflict with others. If people don't agree, this is something I have to learn. If people don't agree with you, or if you think people are just uneducated on a particular subject and they don't want to hear what you have to say, just leave. It's interesting here. Seven of Swords comes as the clarification, and that's to run and flee like a thief and to avoid the conflict, running from the circus of insanity. The clown runs from the circus. He takes what he needs and goes. Flees like a thief. Two of Swords. I don't want to hear it. Destiny will be done. If somebody screwed you over in the past, it's going to happen. Their karma is going to come to them, right? But it shouldn't concern you. The only thing that should be concerning you at this time is self-care. Take care of yourself. Simplify your life. Focus on moving away from attachment towards a more spiritual path. Learn to work with people and learn discernment. discernment when it comes to lovers and relationships. It's okay to date and to have lovers, but past treatment should give you a good predictor of future behavior, right? So when it comes to old relationships, if the person didn't treat you right in the past, they probably aren't going to be treating you much better in the future. So this ability to discern what people say versus what they do, moving on. Live frugally and simply at this time, regardless of whether they are good times or hard times. Live frugally. The Four of Pentacles is the frugality card. Be grateful for what you have and live frugally. Know that this too shall pass. And if you live frugally and simply and take care of yourself and focus on your own path to mastery, you needn't fear the changes that are coming. And everything's going to be okay financially. That's basically what I see for the collective reading. And I hope it gave you some guidance. All right. One of the conversations that has come up has to do a little bit with many of you who maybe grew up with preconceived ideas about what you felt was appropriate, particularly those of us who were maybe baby boomers. And so now you find yourself in a situation where you're suffering an economic problem because you've got to play catch up. This is Ashley Viola. And let's hear what she has to say here about what has happened to trad wives, traditional wives after the age of, say, 49. It usually starts to happen when they start going through menopause. Their husbands no longer want them. They've been used up. They've lost their fertility. They've been worked half to death. And now they are discarded like babies. They don't know how to get a job, let alone get their own credit card, because the money was completely controlled by the man. So let's take a moment to watch When Being a Trad Wife Leaves You Broke. And then we're going to open the floor to a conversation about that. Thank you all for being here. This is Sunday's Coffee, Chat, and Tarot. We've just completed the collective reading for the group. If you've missed that, be sure and go back and check that out. And now we're going to be taking a look at this video by Viola, When Being a Trad Wife Leaves You Broke. Let's take a look.
Now speaking out about how they're now broke with no skills after their husbands discarded them.
For 24 years, I lived in $1 million homes. I vacationed all over the world. I spent my summers in Hawaii. I could buy myself $500 jeans, diamond tennis bracelets. We had boats and RVs and whatever I wanted. And it never bothered me once that my financial security was dependent on that man being in love with me. I never realized that him liking me or not liking me or finding me sexy or attractive or interesting determined whether or not my children could eat, whether or not I could buy myself a jug of milk and a loaf of bread. So I found myself divorced at age 44 just 5 years ago, and within just a few months I was living in my car while he made about $250,000. I have no retirement. I have no savings, no education, no resume. There's not a day that goes by that I don't wonder why I didn't have a backup plan.
As an ex-trad wife, I was told that marry a man that can take care of me, provide for me. My role was in the home, and to trust that the leadership of my husband was the best for me and my family. In doing so, I did not finish my degree. During this divorce process, I've been near bankruptcy. Actually, really close to bankruptcy, really close to not having any money for food.
So I'm a former Mormon trad wife. I have 6 kids. I'm 38 years old. I don't have an education. I got married young. I had kids young, and I absolutely gave up on my hopes and dreams.
There needs to be a whole documentary series at this point, Surviving Trad Wife or the Trad Wife to Poverty Pipeline, because this is how common this is becoming. And all of these stories sound disturbingly similar. A woman spends years centering a man. She gives up school and work. She gave up her entire self-esteem, all because she was told that being dependent is feminine. The marriage collapses and suddenly she's in her 40s with no money and no degree, no real work history, because you can't put being a trad wife on your resume. Oh, and also a nervous system that's fried by years of unpaid labor. And this keeps happening, yet trad wife influencers are still trying to sell us the same scam. Let's talk about the trad wife to poverty pipeline and why this is the inevitable end result of being a male-centered patriarchy princess.
Right. So going forward, let's see some more of this.
I'm an ex-trad wife. I work 3 minimum wage jobs to just pay my rent.
I'm an ex-trad wife. I'm 15 years away from retirement and my bank account is currently overdrawn by $200.
I'm an ex-trad wife. After a long morning of working on a furniture flip, I'm now getting ready to go to my second job.
I'm an ex-trad wife. I can't afford to buy myself shoes and my kids shoes, so I've just been kind of like sharing all of my teenager stuff for the past 5 years. I'm an ex-trad wife. I do not ever, under any circumstances, ever go into the grocery store before checking my bank account to make sure that I have money. I'm an ex-trad wife. I live in my uncle's guest house because no money, no credit, no job history. I had a sucky divorce attorney and my ex is deadbeat.
Are young girls getting the message yet that this is in fact the end result of being a trad wife? If you look at trad wife content, subordination is holy, and making sourdough from scratch in a linen dress and obeying your husband is peace. But peace for whom? Certainly not for the woman who ends up divorced and poor and scrambling across 3 or 4 jobs just to survive. You're told to aspire to be with a man that can take care of you. For a lot of us, our grandmothers and mothers put that idea in our heads. And of course, media too. And then when the man uses that money, that financial influence as leverage, suddenly these women are surprised. They're confused. They're like, how could this happen to me? Well, it was always going to happen to you because that's the point. The point is control. The point is to keep you less mobile, less educated, less employable, and most importantly, less able to leave.
So y'all want to know the scariest thing, and it's happening to me now, is being a female, married. I'm 37. I have 2 kids. They're 5 and 7. And I've been a stay-at-home mom for the past 10 plus years. I have no income. I have no money. I use my husband's credit card and I use my husband's money. And 2 weeks ago, he told me that he wants to move forward with divorce. I use an American Express credit card for everything. It's got my name on it, but obviously he pays the bill. He told me he's gonna cut it off and I gotta like move all the automatic payments and stop using it. And he said, you need to start using your own card now. What card? I don't have a card. That is my card. Terrifying. I mean, I feel like a little girl who needs their mommy because I don't know how to take care of myself.
Any psychologist that's even halfway competent can tell you if you have a relationship that's built on one-sided labor, unreciprocated emotional and domestic labor, one person having control of all of the finances, that's going to be toxic. And over time, it's going to shred your sense of self. And I keep coming back to the same question. What kind of man would want this arrangement? What kind of man wants a woman whose mission is to serve him and to orbit around him? I'll tell you what kind of man wants that. An abuser. Because I need us to be so for real for 1 second. When one person is intentionally kept financially dependent, is told to organize her entire life around pleasing her husband, if one person has the resume and the pedigree, that is a recipe for manipulation. And a 2026 study in Psychology of Women Quarterly looked at men's attitudes towards the trad wife movement, and it found that men who were most drawn to the trad wife ideal actively resented women, even while relying on them, possessed sexist, hateful attitudes towards women, and didn't even see their work around the house as being valuable. Cooking and cleaning and household management, all of that is work. It's valuable work. It's necessary work. Our society would crumble without it. But when only one person is expected to do that work to a point where you're a married single mother, it's abuse at that point. And you might think that surely if you get a divorce, that the law is going to recognize how valuable that work that you're doing is, and there's going to be safeguards in place to protect you. But that is far from the case, because when these men have all of the power and resources, they have the ability to financially obliterate you.
Whenever I get this question, why didn't you get half? It just makes my brain explode. I didn't get half because statistically women get screwed over in divorce, period. As a stay-at-home mom, I didn't have money for a divorce attorney. I had a terrible divorce attorney. I put most of my attorney's fees on a credit card that I'm still paying off today. He had all the money, so he had incredible representation. Here's some statistics that my crap divorce attorney shared with me. Less than 40% of child support ever gets paid, and when it does, it's usually not on time. Some of it takes years to collect. Less than 17% of spousal maintenance alimony gets paid. I spent more on my crappy divorce attorney than I got in the one alimony payment that my ex-husband made and child support in the first 3 years after my divorce. When I had to end my 24-year marriage because my brutally violent ex-husband was going to end my life eventually, and that night I caught him picking up a 19-year-old sex worker, he immediately drove to the bank, took out all of the money, every single penny that was in his bank account, and I never recouped it. The court didn't give it back to me.
So let's take a moment and talk about this, because I think that this is relevant, particularly for women that are recovering from this, who are in their 60s, 70s, and now finding themselves living in their cars, because that really was kind of the standard for baby boomers, wasn't it? And to some extent, Generation X. They simply worked and were told that it was righteous or good, right? To be this submissive person, but it didn't necessarily translate. It always led to women's financial and educational detriment. She always wound up in a worse situation financially, and she always wound up in a worse situation in terms of her education.
Within 3 days of our marriage ending, I would be at Trader Joe's and not be able to pay for a $43 bag full of groceries. The day after that, I would have to walk to a neighbor's house and ask if they could give me a $20 bill that I'd never be able to pay back, so that I could put gas in my car and drive my kids to school. We were renting a condo. There was no house to divide, no property to split up. So a couple months after our marriage ended, he canceled the lease and had me and the kids evicted. At that point, I started sleeping in my vehicle, and the kids had all of their stuff in little Rubbermaid boxes, and they, like, all of their clothes and all of their schoolwork and things like that, and they just like bounced from one friend or cousin's house to the next.
And I've talked about this before. I completely understand why on paper the trad wife lifestyle looks enticing to some women. We're living at a time and in a system where people are broke and they're exhausted. The job market is precarious. People are beyond underpaid. Women still earned less than men on average. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, women had median weekly earnings of $1,089, or 82.1% of the $1,326 that men earned in 2025. Neither men nor women are doing well. No one's doing well under capitalism. That's the point. Unless you're in the 1%, of course. So when women say that they don't dream of labor in the corporate sense, I get it. They're not crazy for recognizing that wage work under capitalism is soul sucking. They're not wrong to recognize that the corporate workplace is extractive. And they're not wrong to feel disgusted by girl boss feminism either. That whole lean-in era, it's been talked about a million times over by me and others. It was just selling women equal opportunity domination, without addressing broader structures of racism, of imperialism, of the class hierarchies that we live under. It didn't do anything to challenge the basic structures of capitalism. Trad wives are right to sense that there's something wrong with the way that we live. They're so close to having a material analysis on the ways that capitalism isolates us and alienates us and atomizes us. They're so close yet so far away because they stupidly blame feminism instead of blaming capitalism. Because if your workplace exploits you, the answer is not to have a man exploit you instead privately in the confines of your own home where you have no rights, kept underneath his boot for so many years of your life. Your formative years were spent laboring for him, only for him to discard you when he no longer wanted you.
I built a man from nothing into about to be partner in big law at what's regularly recognized as the best litigation firm in the country, only to be discarded like trash in the end. I married my soon-to-be ex-husband when we were in undergraduate. I also had aspirations of going to law school. He said, no, we can't afford 2 law school educations. It's just not going to work. And I said, okay, yeah, that seems to make sense. And I was also socialized from a young age that I'm the supportive wife, I raise the kids, I stay home, and that if I gave him my years and sacrifice and love and loyalty, that he would reward me and take care of me and keep the boat steady when I got older. One of the many lowest points was when we were on our way to see family. It was a 13-hour drive. And he sneered at me that I will never be a partner's wife. And that was a couple of years before I was discarded for his mistress. And during the period.
Oh my God, it just goes on and on and on. So now we have a crisis in the United States, right? So what did we learn from this crisis? We learned that being a trad life will ensure that there's a good possibility you're going to be living in your car. Right? Because if you sacrifice your education, threw that out the window, and if you're working nonstop so that he can get rich, and you're not investing in your own future, your own education, your own mastery, how is that a violation of the first rules of Buddhism, for example? We talk about the natural order, right? Buddhism is all about the natural order of things, right? Particularly Shintoism also. What is the natural order? Is this the natural order? Men who love trad wives are always talking about the natural order, right? Confucius talked about the natural order, right? The king is on top. The emperor is on top. The head of the factory is on top, and he must show benevolence but a stern hand to his employees. So he then, who's under him, right? His manager. And then who's under the manager? His subordinates. And then who's under his subordinates? The wife, right? So who's at the bottom of the barrel? Who gets the last drop of rice? The wife, right? First it goes to the emperor, then to the managers, then to the people working under the management. And then he takes it home and disseminates it to his wife. And then his wife is supposed to do what? She's supposed to feed the children, right? So what happens? She feeds the kids first, and then what happens? You have an eating disorder. So this is also the history of eating disorders in women. You're not entitled to eat food. You're not entitled to have a slice of cake. You're a selfish, bad woman if you eat that slice of cake. No, you feed your children, you feed your husband, and you can lick the crumbs. So this pressure on, it's a type of ancient guilt trip, right? It's an ancient guilt trip that says your life is, by virtue of being female, your life is the bottom of the barrel. You eat last. First the men eat, then the children eat, and then you lick the crumbs from the plate. And you wear a burqa and you cover yourself, and then you are discarded like trash, a woman in black on the side of a road. What is a woman in black on the side of a road? A woman in black, the widow, sitting at the side of a road with her hand out, begging for money. Who is she? Stereotypically, like, what do we think about when we see this woman? This woman who's become the pariah, right? who does she become in that society? Who is the pariah of the, if she's a pariah, if her entire life she's been denigrated and told that she eats last, then who is she? She's been a dutiful wife. She took care of her whole entire family, her entire life. She was a good trad wife. She never owned anything. She took care of everybody in her family, and then she becomes, what does she become? Who is she? There's your trad wife. There is your trad wife. Your trad wife is a witch. The very culture that told her to do this thing, to sacrifice her entire life for the service of others, that leaves her homeless in widow's black on the side of a road with her hand out begging for money, is now what? She's a pariah. She's not pretty anymore. She doesn't have a fertile uterus. Her husband's dead. She's of no use to anybody. She doesn't have any money. She worked for free. So what is she? What has she become? Right? She became the witch. She became the pariah. So what's the saving grace of a woman of a certain age? How does she protect herself? How does a woman in a society like that pay her bills? What's she going to do? What's a girl to do? What is a girl to do? What's it all about? Well, she begs, she pleads. We see a lot of this in the Middle East. You know, if you go to pray at the Western Wall, if you've ever been to the Western Wall to pray, you see this all the time at the Western Wall. All these nice Jewish women in widow's black with their hair covered, the rabbi's dies, right? The Rebbitzin, you know, and so now she's at the wall asking you for a shekel. Do you have a shekel for me? She's also doing witchcraft. She's got to come up with a way to make a buck. So she's now removing hexes, doing a little Kabbalah, right? Maybe she's boiling silver, right? Boiling silver and pouring it in a goblet of water over your head in order to remove the evil eye. This is one of the ways that the widows make money. 15, 20 bucks, they'll have your evil eye taken off. Blessings, right? So what is the point I'm making? The point I'm making is that the very righteous Christian culture that drove you into the trad wife, that told you to be a good girl is now driving you, is basically discarding you as an old crazy witch, cackling witch. Because they never liked women in the first place. They never respected women in the first place. They never respected the traditional jobs that they had shoved you into. It was really about hating you and wanting to control you, wanting to control your education, put their fingers up there, right? Get it all up in there. right? Invade your personal space, control, contain, compartmentalize, discard, debase, and tell you you're insane when you fight back. Tell you that God himself, the all-encompassing creator, is mad at you and is going to do bad things to you if you don't get back in that burqa, back in that role that makes you a trad wife. But it's actually worse now because most men cannot afford a trad wife. So it's actually 10 times worse. You still have to be a trad wife, but you have to bring in more money than he brings in, right? So it's actually gotten worse because now men expect you also to, this type of man, this type of individual is expecting you to bring him some money. And, you know, this is in some ways the most predatory because this individual will often market themselves as feminist or pro-women. What he really wants to do is make you a trad wife who also brings him some money. Basically, it's a pimp-prostitute relationship, which could be even worse than a trad wife. The only thing that makes it better is that if she has job skills and can get away from him, she at least can try and recover financially, but she's lost 15 to 20 years of her life propping this system up.
Of that discard, he said, no man will want a mother of 4 kids, his 4 kids, mind you, in her 40s.
And this is why education matters so profoundly. The men that tell women to stay in the kitchen and that a woman's role is supposed to be at home and not working, and it's a man's job to be the leader of the household, they tend to have degrees from elite institutions at that. The politicians who say that, they demonize education while being very highly educated. I shouldn't even say very highly educated because they're not educated. They have a degree, mostly due to legacy admissions and shit like that. They don't actually have the sense in their brain, but they have a degree, right? They went to the institutions, but they will tell you at the same time that going to these institutions is a waste of time. But they know how destabilizing education can be to oppression, not automatically or perfectly in any way, but reading and studying history, learning the political economy, encountering feminist theory, labor history, having a decolonial analysis. All of these things can help you to connect the dots. It can help you to identify when domination is happening to you. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago about women who proudly declare that they turn their brains off in their relationships to let a man lead. But once you start reading, once you start learning, once you start turning your brain on, you start to see how power and subjugation reproduces itself all throughout our culture. And it becomes all the more harder to romanticize your own subjugation. And that's why the trad wife content, it heavily relies on aesthetics. It has to make oppression look pretty, right? Because if it wasn't made to look that way, if the wives were sharing the most intimate, vulnerable moments of their lives instead of these curated moments that they share on social media, you would see that this is far from aspirational. And the women who are selling these lifestyles online are frauds anyways, though. So many of these trad wives are not even trad wives in the traditional sense that they preach. They're influencers. We've talked about this before a couple of years ago. They're building brands, they're filming, they're getting sponsorships, they're workers. But yet they'll still lecture you about the sin of ambition while they're literally doing just that. That contradiction alone should tell you something. When I see these trad wives trying to be influencers, I actually see women who are trying to escape. Because if you're so happy in your domestic bliss, then put the phone down. Go get in the kitchen. Go make your husband a sandwich. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Be quiet. Serve your man. Be a doting housewife. But you can't because you're so bored. You want something for yourself independently of your marriage. Because why are you over here with ring lights and affiliate links? I thought you were supposed to be a trad wife. It reads to me as a cry for help. And have you noticed that the women who are always promoting this lifestyle are in their 20s? They're very much still in the honeymoon phase of their marriages and it hasn't really hit them yet. They haven't yet lived the long-term consequences that come with being a trad wife. When you're young and naive, of course, you can keep lying to yourself and telling yourself that this looks like freedom and happiness until it doesn't, until it hits you, until you can no longer pretend. If he decides that you're no longer pretty enough, thin enough, compliant enough, he can make your life hell. And that is a dead end. And I'm so glad that these women are waking up. I'm glad that these ex-trad wives are speaking out. But even waking up, it does not make up for the time that you lost. Years of your life are gone and money is gone. Opportunities are gone.
You guys want to talk about it? She's really good. She is really, really good, really smart, really quick. Just really great commentary. Ashley Viola. Very, very good at debate, very good communicator, very educated. That was Ashley Viola, When Being a Trad Wife Leaves You Broke. When being a trad wife leaves you broke. Or, well, I don't think men want trad wives because they can't financially. They want you to go bring them money too. They want a trad wife who comes with a paycheck. I think that that's the new fantasy. And it often bills itself as a woke liberal guy who's very tolerant of a woman who makes more money than him. Right? Because he's very comfortable sitting at home eating Cheetos and basically he's comfortable being a pimp. Yeah, so liberal, tolerant, and cool with her bringing the money or having the money is just code word for I'm another creep and I want to pimp her out. Go bring me some money, honey. I'm very evolved that way. That's feminism, letting women work, right? Bring me some money, honey. And you missed a spot. I noticed your dish cleaning isn't all that cracked up to be. So clean the dishes. Yeah, all the house, but bring me some money, honey. Right? So it's not the trad wife fantasy, I think, is far less common than the fantasy of a trad wife who also has a job and brings money. Right? All right, let's go ahead and spend a couple minutes blitzing away. I think we probably got the order by now to blitz away. I just wanted to get people to start thinking about that and the role of trad wives. All right. First question coming from the floor director, Joel Tilson. Will Putin use Belarus to attack Ukraine? I don't think that Belarus wants to be in the middle of all of this, and I think Belarus is terrified because Ukraine, excuse me, Ukraine is ready to go into Belarus, from what I understand. Ukraine is winning. And Lukashenko is missing. Is that correct? Belarus attack Ukraine. They're trying to mediate and get people to talk to each other. So it's a desire to communicate or talk to each other. Slow and steady communication. This looks to me like they're negotiating. You see, this is all peace and calm and take it slow. So I get the impression that Belarus is trying to calm things down, hang it up. No, they have no interest. Belarus does not want to be a part of this and is going to do everything in their power to avoid being a part of it. It looks like Crimea is falling. And people are already trying to evacuate if they can get out. Let's take a look at Crimea and Putin. Karma is coming to an end for him in Crimea. You know, he should have listened and taken an earlier offer. Look at this, complete confusion. He doesn't understand how his flanks collapsed. He doesn't understand. It collapsed because there were high-ranking officials in his military and in his government that were helping the Ukrainians. Right? They were telling the Ukrainians where to fire, where the oil was kept, where the weapons were stored. So you have its karmic ending, confusion on the part of Putin, a new beginning, and Empress. I think that he's going to have to pull out because Empress would be abundance, which leads me to think that more and more support is coming to Ukraine. Is Russian soldiers or citizens carrying out sabotage against Putin? Yes, 100%. As we had said, one of the reasons that Putin is losing the war is because they're getting help from the Russian military. How will Trump-backed candidates do in the midterm elections? Well, it doesn't surprise me that Trump-backed candidates won because Trump is the Republican Party. But the question is, how popular is the Republican Party right now? because a lot of people have gone independent. So even though they would win in a closed primary with Republicans, because it's Trump's party, that doesn't mean they would win against Democrats and independents. All right, let's see how Trump's candidates do. I think people seek the center. I think people are tired of all this crazy extremism, which is being paid for by foreign governments, getting us all to attack each other, calling each other repugnants and this sort of thing. It's not something I usually try to delete those comments just because I think we need to move away from that kind of division in this country. But I don't think they'll be doing very well at all. You can see complete confusion and chaos. It's as if the Republican brand is in crisis and falling apart. Rapid change. It's falling apart very quickly. The GOP is being sabotaged from within. And I would argue that it was unanticipated, but part of it had to do with starving out the Republican Party. I'm seeing that they're starving out certain candidates. Here, also Wheel of Fortune and the Nine of Swords. They're just not, this is something that they will do. They will get a candidate to raise money for the party, but then the party will not release funds to that particular candidate. And that appears to be what's happening. There's people in positions of power that are sabotaging MAGA from within. Yeah. It's interesting also, Lover's card, there's this kind of change happening within the Republican Party where they're kind of soul searching a little bit, going back to the ethos. I feel like the Republican Party is going through some serious changes right now. Will Ukraine destroy the Kerch Bridge? Probably, I would think so. Haven't they destroyed it already? I thought it was already pretty much finished. The Kerch Bridge. Yes, the Kerch Bridge is going to be taken out. And it could be fatal. People could die as a result of this. Kerch Bridge could be taken out by Ukraine. Attempts to put us peacekeepers. It's the karma and then complete surprise. I think they're going to blast it out of the water. I think that Putin is just shell-shocked. I don't think that Putin expected this. Is the GOP planning Trump's departure? I think so. I mean, how much longer can it go? The man's in his 80s and he's falling asleep at the table. I mean, I wouldn't be able to keep that schedule in my 80s. I doubt it. I think most of us would be tired, right? All right. Is the GOP planning to dump Trump? They're looking for strong leadership. They are looking around for strong leadership. They're trying to salvage J.D. Vance because he needs some help. He's gotten himself into trouble a couple of times. I mean, yeah. So King of Wands moving in would be a war king or aggressive. Stars over the situation. I think, yeah, there's new stars over somebody else. It's an ethics issue anyway, because the ethics came up as the issue, and divorce court or justice or the courts. He was too much of a liability, and in many ways they feel like he hurt their brand, and I don't know if they think it was worth it. Joel Tilson, was the attacks on Iran a mop-up operation? I don't know if I would call it a mop-up operation so much as inevitable, because it's the fall of the IRGC. Ace of Cups, there are still people trying to get you can't negotiate with the IRGC. It's like the Green Prince had said, you can't pay them to stop wanting to kill Jews and destroy the West. This is an ideology. They're desperate for support. Iran doesn't have many allies at this point. And we could see aggressive behavior. You have the Ace of Cups coming in. Foolish behavior by them leads to August. We could see, look at this August cards. We could see more aggressive. I just see the fall of IRGC, and it's civil war. Will Zelensky and Putin have peace talks? I think Putin is going to be under house arrest by the end of this, because that is the 5 phases, and the 5 phases have been known for many, many years. So it's not, I don't think that the 5 phases can be avoided. I don't think it's something that we can avoid. Even if people wanted to avoid it, the data is the data. And I think ultimately the intelligence agencies will fall in the place of the data, and they will follow the data. And there's just nothing you can do other than to accept the data. And that's the data. You know, the data shows that Iran must be dismantled and that Putin must be contained. Otherwise, you'll still be seeing death, right? So if you look at the calculations, it was, how do you keep people from dying? How do we make the Middle East a safer place where there isn't going to be terrorists every 5 minutes bombing Bahrain? And we see now civil war starting to break out in Iraq, right? Between the Shia and the Sunni. The Sunni are going to win, by the way. It's always coming back to the same thing, that they will get to ceasefire in Gaza, that there will be an exchange of hostages. They've already completed that. And now they're stuck on 2, trying to get Hamas, somebody to take Hamas into a host country. 350,000 people need to leave. There's civil war breaking out in Gaza. The people of Gaza, same thing. They don't want Iran's proxy army in Gaza, because Hamas is Iran, right? Hezbollah is Iran. Hamas is Iran, right? So phase 2 is happening now. Phase 3 is the rebuild, and phase 4 is the isolation of Putin, which we're now witnessing, the isolation of Putin and the dismantling of Iranian leadership. So we know that this is what the data showed in December of 2023, and everything predicted is pretty much happening. And that's because the data is the data. If you don't want people to die and you're trying to save lives, that's the direction you're going to be going in. And there are many people in the intelligence agencies that don't want people to die, you know, that are going to follow the 5 phases, because the 5 phases is what the data shows if you're trying to keep people from dying. The idea of Zelensky giving up territory in exchange for peace had to do with the idea that he would create an oasis zone in the Donbass. And so that was the concession, so that there would never be war there again. I think it's a good idea, and I think that they'll probably do it whether Putin agrees or not, because it would open up a new trade route that Putin would benefit from. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then they would be able to extend to the Abraham Accords. Leah Omega 8 wants to know how peptides work. Peptides are small strings of amino acids that make up larger proteins. So an amino acid has a nitrogen in its core. Uric acid is a breakdown product of amino acids. Amino acids strung together make a protein. A small string of amino acids forms a peptide. These are mini proteins. So a peptide could be viewed as a mini peptide. A peptide could be viewed as like a mini protein, or a mini assembly of nucleic of amino acids, right? So we know there's 20-something different types of amino acids, and when they're strung together in a particular segment to make a form of peptide. Some peptides, when they get into the body, will stimulate the body's own immune response, right? one of the things that they can do is they will stimulate bringing macrophages, certain cells to clean up waste in a particular area. A peptide will tag certain waste products, it's say an injury, and then attract clearing agents. This is how wobenzyme works. Wobenzyme is peptides that get attached to wound sites with junk and waste, and then that attracts macrophages and other cells to come and repair the waste. So that's the relationship between wobenzyme. Did I pronounce that right? Wobenzyme. Let me see. I think it's a German company, if I'm not mistaken. Wobenzyme. We'll see if Whimsy got it. Yay! I spelt it right. I'm very proud of myself. Anytime I can spell anything properly, I'm proud of myself. Yeah, so wobenzyme is going to attach to a particular injury site, and then it's going to attract, clean up, and repair to that site that it's attached to. And then you have super enzymes. Now, that's one type of peptide, but you have other kinds of peptides also that do different things. Some can help with immune repair, some can do other things, depending, right? So here is a peptide evolving into a protein. You can see here. Amino acids come together to form these strings called peptides, and then those strings come together to form more complex structures known as proteins. Peptides also are the building blocks of connective tissues like collagen, right? So collagen helps create the elasticity of right? Here are popped, these are different ones for oxidative stress, but here's peptides for beginners. Here they are attaching to inflammatory spots in the body in order to clean up that particular area. Here they are for skin, collagen. Is this answering your question? I don't know. Collagen can be injected. There we go. All right. It can also help build your immune system, and some of them by mounting an immune response. Mm-hmm. There's got to be a market where you can buy ranch dressing. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. When they like, what's the big deal? Like but I guess it just they went crazy over ranch dressing. That I'm trying to think of something I went crazy for when I was in Europe. Probably cheeses, I think, is the big thing that Americans go crazy over, right? Well, I think that we get, there's only so much Velveeta the average American can eat, right? The Velveeta, we don't have the same variety of cheeses that you have, say, in France or even in England. We try the cottage cheeses. The cottage cheddar is not the same as a cottage cheese, a cottage cheddar or a pub's cheddar. The creamy cheddars that you can put on a cracker, right? So I think that that's the one thing I really like is and the hard breaking. They have some really expensive, high quality cheeses in Britain and also in Europe. Oh, I would go ahead and refresh and yeah, I would just clear everything. I would also log out and log back in, see if that doesn't help. Yeah. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Yeah, that video was great by Viola. Yeah, I hope she doesn't get mad at us for posting that because yeah, it doesn't take a lot, does it? It doesn't take a lot. The oligarchs and corporations will pay a minimum of 15 cents per tax, which will balance the budget with more health and dental benefits. Yeah, I don't understand why be so greedy. Help out your fellow countrymen. Will Medicare for all become law? No, they think the way that we practice medicine today in the United States, it would bankrupt us because it's too expensive, right? Let's take a look. So we are raising money for Asher House today. We are raising money for Asher House, just to let everybody know. If you're having fun today and you're having a good time and you'd like to donate to a worthy cause, today we are raising money for Asher House. We want to give a congratulations to Asher and his beautiful wife, Sarah, and for many years to come, may you be happy. Yes. But they were married today, and we thought, wouldn't it be great if we could run a fundraiser for Asher House? Here is a link just to give a wedding gift. I know they nothing would make them happier than for us to donate to their pups. I don't think that Asher House, I don't think they want anything. I don't. I really it's called Asher. That's his name, Lee. I think his Hebrew name is Asher. Is that correct? Right? Asher is, and his American name is Lee. He's Israeli American. Yeah. But you guys all got a chance to see the wedding video of Lee and Sarah? Mazel tov. If you want to donate to the charity, we're celebrating their wedding today. We'll watch it one more time.
The people, they want to come down. Seeing all these people.
Okay, hold my hand.
Here comes the first one.
Here comes the first one. Mr. Happy. Mr. Happy.
Here they come. They're coming down the hill. Look at this white one. I love it. Man of the hour.
Callie.
I know.
Attaboy. Here comes the wedding couple. Oh, look at his outfit. He's wearing a tuxedo t-shirt.
What's going on?
Start now.
All right. So again, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov to Lee and Sarah. Today is their wedding. And if you found anything today entertaining and you'd like to give a gift to the happy couple, please, please, please think about supporting Asher House. They're an animal rescue. They save dogs that are going to be put down. They've saved a lot of lives. They're based out of Oregon. And of course, you're welcome to also contact them if you're interested in donating time, money to Asher House. Check them out. Again, they're here in Oregon. Beautiful organization and open to donation, adopt, and to shop. Mazel Tov, Lee and Sarah. Okay. What's with the ranch dressing? I don't know. Maybe we could ship it to them. I don't know. Siobhan Dumas, greetings, whims and moderators, was out with an 85 active person. Showed me the plaques from when she was arrested in 62 from demonstrating Georgia. Inspirational. Oh my goodness, that is crazy. Well, Joel says he doesn't believe in any of that trad wife crap. His marriage was a partnership of two equals. That is exactly how, and that's why you had a happy marriage. All right, this is a good question coming in from Joel Tilson. Are we looking at another French Revolution? What are you guys thinking? Who's going to win that revolution? France has had many revolutions, right? Patience over the situation. No, they're saying that instead of revolution, they're moving towards patience, tolerance, and integration. No, we don't need to settle all of our problems with revolution. We need to settle our problems. We have learned through revolution that the best thing is mediation and conversation and discussion, that everything doesn't need to be settled with a revolution. So just helping people and working together. Oh, thank you. There was a gift of 1 Oracle membership by Warrior Queen. That's lovely. Thank you for that. That's lovely. The natural order. Yes, we were talking about the natural order. The natural order is this idea that the mother comes first is the natural order. Mm-hmm. In the hierarchy, what did Confucius get wrong? Right? If you're looking at the natural order, what did Confucius get wrong? He said the emperor was the top of the hierarchy. How was he wrong? Mm-hmm. But who comes first in the natural order? What does Mother Nature say? Right. So Mother Nature says that the highest expression of society is the mother. So the mother comes first. She gets the paycheck. She gets the filet mignon. She gets the best slice of meat. She gets the throne. She gets served first. That's the natural order. Because all life comes from the mother, all goes back to the mother, all returns back to the mother, all is of the mother, all belongs to the mother. Our salvation is through the mother. So the natural order is the exact opposite of what you're seeing with the trad wife phenomenon, right? The natural order, if you're looking at traditional society, what helps us survive, what's going to allow us to continue on is that the mother must come first. So the degree to which we are out of balance or the degree to which we have lost our center can be judged by how we prioritize or we respect the role of the mother, right? So if we are in a society that doesn't respect the mother, doesn't have any doesn't think that doesn't value the worth of a woman, doesn't see a woman's worth, doesn't see women as having any value at all, then there will be no respect for the mother. And nothing will go well in the world if the mother does not come first. The mother comes first. The mother must always come first. So if you're looking at traditional hunter-gatherer society, how to maintain a society, the mother must come first. She is the queen. She is Oshun. She is Yamaya. She is all that and a bag of chips. We prostrate before the mother. She gave us life. She is the transition point from the heavens to the earth, comes through the mother. What happens if she isn't given enough food to eat? Society collapses. She can't produce healthy babies. She can't rear the next generation. What happens in a society where they have no respect for her? They don't think about feeding her. They don't respect the wife. They don't respect the mother. They don't respect her traditional role. What happens? Chaos, poverty, war, right? So the natural order is that the mother comes first. What kind of a person would your mother have become had she been treated as if she came first? Who would she have become? What kind of society would we be looking at if we took care of women? Oh, so we do know where Lukashenko is. Lukashenko is in Moscow. Good. People were wondering if he was alive or dead. If you can afford it, go on a staycation. If you can't, but staycation is, I thought that wasn't any much money. All right, I'm going to call it quits. I've been here for almost 2 hours. Thank you, everybody who's had brunch with me. I think we're out of here. I think it was a really good conversation we had. We talked a little bit about trad wives. We talked a little bit about what was going on in the world today. We gave ourselves a nice collective reading. Hopefully we raised a little money for Leah and Sarah for Asher House. And I think that, we did some good work today. All right, if you're trying to get in for a reading with me, if you need to see me for a consult, you can find all that information by booking me through Booksy, Dr. Whimsy Anderson. All right, we're out of here. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time, everyone. Thank you. Bye, everybody.